Hi, my name is River. Can you not scratch right now? Alright, I'm taking this off. Okay. Hi, my name is River. I live full-time in a yurt off-grid in the foothills of the Cascade Mountains in Washington on the west side. I moved into this 19-foot yurt in the middle of June, so about 2.5 months ago, almost 3 months, and I basically just put it together with whatever money I had and whatever ideas I had at the time, knowing that there was stuff I was going to need to improve before the winter when shit gets serious, when it's going to rain. Even in the fall, it's going to rain like the dickens. It's barely rained here. Like, it rained yesterday, and that was the first time it rained in a couple weeks. It's rained maybe like 3 times since I moved here. But it's going to be raining pretty much every day, and it's going to be snowing sometimes, and I need to be prepared for that. And the yurt setup is not ready for that. So today's video, I'm going to go over the problems that I need to fix in my yurt before the rainy season starts, and my ideas for what I'm going to do about them. And then some of them, I don't know what I'm going to do about them. So for all of these, whether you have experience, if you have experience, that's obviously the most helpful, but whether you have experience or you just have a really good problem-solving imagination, if you have any ideas for what I can do about any of these problems, please go ahead and comment them. That's kind of the point of me bringing these up before I've figured out the answers for all of them, because I know it would probably be more visually entertaining if I solved all of these problems in the video, but instead I'm just going to talk about them and show you them and tell you my ideas about them. Notebook, I'm normally facing the other way, but the lighting was bad for that. You need to chill, bud. We're going to go do something later. He's so mad because I did a photo shoot yesterday in the Gifford Pinchot National Forest, and I couldn't bring him because it was a paid shoot, and he barks at people when we try to stop on the trail, don't you, buddy? Unless it's just me, and unless he's really tired. Okay, so problems with the yurt setup. Some of them are about the yurt itself, and some of them are problems with like the overall setup that I have going on here. So the number one problem is with the actual yurt itself is that I don't have it completely set up, and that's part of why I haven't really been showing that much of the yurt. I think you can see it. Yeah, you can see it in the background here. Basically, right now it has a couple layers. It's got the felt sheep's wool layer. It's got a Tyvek layer because I live in an extremely rainy place, so that's recommended if you're in a really rainy place. Yurts are made for the arid Mongolian steppe, which I live in the opposite of an arid Mongolian steppe. I live in the rainiest rain town. And then it has a rainproof heavy canvas layer, and then there's supposed to be a decorative layer over that that's white with blue decorative motifs on it that I have, but I haven't put it on because the gray canvas layer that's supposed to not be visible is not on there properly. It's been fine for the summer, but basically what happened is my sisters had to leave when they were helping me set up the yurt. I enlisted a couple of other friends, but they didn't have very much time. It was incredibly heavy. We were all overwhelmed by how heavy it was. We put like clamps on it, and we're holding it by the clamps to try to get a better grip. And basically the hardest part was I was standing through the crown and like grabbing it to pull it up, and only like really one person can fit doing that. And especially the part that was at the front, which is where the stovepipe is coming out, I couldn't reach around the stovepipe very effectively to pull it up. So the canvas on the front of the yurt is basically sagging over the door and is not pulled up high enough. And also because of this, there's a gap where the Tyvek is showing that should be where it completely overlaps to make it waterproof, and it's not. So that is not good. It's been making me feel like I'm in limbo because my house is like not done. Other thing about this whole situation is that the person I bought the yurt from did not take the option when they bought it from Suntime Yurts to get the glass panels on the dome so that it can be a skylight. Usually the standard yurts come with a dome that has glass panels in it and then like a rain fly that will completely cover it if the weather's really bad. And this person didn't do that. I think that the white decorative cover just covers the dome completely. I don't really know because I have it under a tarp and I haven't even unrolled it yet. And then I had this horrible moment in the middle of the night where I was like, oh no, it's under a tarp. Is it going to be covered in mildew? Like, I've tried to keep it dry, but like, what if the couple times that it's rained, I've gone in there and it's covered in mildew? Basically, I'm trying to figure out a way to DIY a way for the dome to be open so that I have light in the yurt. The yurt has no windows. The people who had it before lived in Everett with it for like 5 years, and they just didn't have any light in there, natural light. And right now that doesn't really matter because I'm outside all the time, but I just anticipate that would totally suck in the winter when it's super dark and I'll be in there most of the time. I use candles. I have a battery powered lamp. It's not like I don't have light in there, but it is also pretty like hard to clean by the candlelight / battery powered lamp. And when I have taken the tarp that I have off on the dome off, it's really nice because I've been leaving the yurt on the weekends to go work in the bigger city. I have just been leaving the tarp on because it was by myself. It's hard to take on and off. And I don't really trust the weather forecast, especially now that like Trump has defunded our weather forecast system. So it just stresses me out to think that it might rain on my yurt while I'm gone. And it's a pain to take the tarp on and off. So I've basically just been having it be covered. My thoughts on that are that you can buy like clear vinyl tarps with grommets that are meant for like boats and like outdoor heavy weather stuff. I could buy one of those and put that on it. The only problem is that I would have to cut a hole for the stovepipe, and I don't know how I would then make sure that there isn't going to be water getting in from the stovepipe, in through the tarp. Please give me suggestions if you have ideas about that. For the actual issue of not being able to get the canvas layer adjusted, my friend Jai, who lives on the property, who was in my first Yurt video, he recently fixed up a broken scissor lift, and I feel like we could probably use the scissor lift to pull it up, which is like kind of silly, but at this point, I just want everything to be set. Another thing though is that I've thought about taking that layer off entirely before I do that and hitting it with a layer of Kills white paint. The mom and dad of the farm, before they bought the farm, they lived in a teepee on the neighboring property for a couple years while they saved up enough money for their down payment. And they said that they would, they had like a canvas teepee, and they would hit it with Kills white paint once a year to help with the mildew. And the outside layer that I have up right now, that layer is very mildewed. I can't smell it from inside the yurt, so part of me feels like I should just use a scissor lift to properly adjust it, and then next year, like in the spring, take it off completely and like clean it and do the mildew thing, and hopefully I could just wait and it won't really matter this winter. So that's a thought, especially because I am considering taking the yurt down entirely and moving it next year. If I had more time and energy and money, then I would maybe do it this year. But basically, some of the people in the family bought one of the neighboring properties. It's another 10 acres. They're not planning to do anything with it for a long time. It has a really, really run down, but could be turned into something useful, hunting cabin on it. And next to the hunting cabin, there's a flat spot that would fit the yurt. And they didn't have this property when I moved on to here. So it wasn't really like a location option for me. And it has like a really cool overgrown garden that I could fix up. And it's just like a lot wilder of a place. Like, I'm on the edge of the farm, the tree farm part of the property that I'm on, and then there's forest around it. So I'm kind of like as close to the wild areas as possible, and it is like more convenient having everything be kind of like flat around here, as you can see. And like manicured, I guess is the wrong word, but cultivated, I guess. But I'm always craving more wildness, and it would be nice to also be able to garden, because I'm not allowed to plant anything that isn't native in this area, and they want to leave the area like around the yurt pretty open, so I can do containers, but I can't really garden. Whereas if I move over to this new parcel that they bought, I could basically do whatever I want. In probably like 5 years, they might want to take it out because they want to build some more tiny houses and do, or like a community house thing over there or whatever. But that's like down the road. So anyway, I may be building a new platform over there. I'm not going to move this one. We probably turn this platform into like a gazebo or something. But I may build a new platform and move the yurt next year. So that's part of why I think, because I'd have to take the entire thing down anyway, that I don't really want to take off that waterproof layer and clean it and demildew it this year, just because I only have like a month before the rainy season starts, and I'm tired and I have a lot of other stuff that I need to do. Please, if you've ever had a yurt in the Pacific Northwest and it had mildew problems that like severely affected you, and you're like, no, you should take the cover off and clean it and put kills white paint on it, like, please let me know if you have any ideas about the dome situation and how I can have it be a skylight the majority of the time while still being weatherproof. That would be great too. I have contacted Suntime Yurts, who is the original manufacturer, and I've asked them about buying a new door from them. I've also asked them about buying the rainfly attachment for the skylight. I've basically hit them up being like, I'd love to order some stuff from you a la carte. I hit them up months ago. They haven't responded. I just hit them up again. I also hit them up on Instagram. They are like open and still making stuff. When I bought the people I bought it from said that they were out of business, but they don't look out of business. They're still doing stuff. I think they just don't check their emails, which sucks. So hopefully they'll get back to me. That's everything that's wrong with the yurt itself. The next issue that I have, which, I'm like looking at it right now, is basically there used to be somebody who lived in an RV on this part of the property, and they were doing the drugs and they got kicked out and they destroyed the RV that they were in. And in the process of destroying the RV that they were in, they got bits of like insulation and like cotton fluff, like not even cotton, it's synthetic, but like bits of like mattress pieces and pillow pieces and broken glass everywhere around this area. And I didn't really notice how bad it was until I've been living here for a little bit. And I've tried to clean it up by hand, but it's honestly so much, like, and I keep finding more like underneath the layers of dirt. Thankfully, because this was over 10 years ago, the glass is not like sharp anymore. Like if you dug it into your skin, it would hurt you, but it's not, it's like been worn down. So like I don't really like, I've tested it, on myself, and I'm like, I don't think it's the type of thing where like I need to be worried about Romeo in the area. I've tried to pick up as much as I can, but it's a lot. So also the issue of like, it's basically like dirt around here because it's under a lot of tree canopy, and when it starts raining it's going to turn into a mud pit, and that's going to be intense. I do have one day in the beginning of October where I'm having some friends out to help me with stuff, and I'm gonna do like a couple hours of us trying to pick up as much of the little bits of trash on the ground as possible. And then I'm gonna have Jai bring in a load of free arborist chips with his truck, which arborist chips are when arborists cut down trees, they wood chip them, and then they have all of this mulch basically. When I had a organic gardening company with my ex, we used it a lot for like pathways and also as mulch. It basically mimics the forest floor, and I want to get a crap ton of that and put that everywhere in this area, and also use it to fill in some holes and like just like dips in this area, especially like over by where I park. So I want to do that, which will basically hopefully effectively like bury any of the bits of glass that we aren't able to pick up by hand, and help with the mud problem. And even though I am probably going to move the yurt that is something that I am happy to spend money on and time on, not only because it's going to help with the mud over the winter, which is going to be probably the biggest challenge of the winter, I think, is the mud and trying to keep Romeo and I from just constantly tracking mud into the yurt. But, and trying to, like, I don't know, figure out my outdoor kitchen and not have that sink into the mud, that too. But, I want to do it even regardless of that, as a part of like just my life ethos of leaving things better than I found it. Like, I spent so much money and time on the garden in Seattle that I have left behind and will not ever directly benefit from again, but I feel so good about that because I believe that humans' purpose on earth is to use our multi-tool specialities, our ability to think ahead into the future, our little hands, our understanding of the web of life, our ability to garden, to basically speed up and the process of healing and regeneration for the earth, and to help create, you know, just like more healthy ecosystems. So I think that me putting down a bunch of wood chips will help this area, and I feel like I owe it to these trees that have been sheltering my camp and holding down this area, to try to enrich the soil around them too. So that's something that I really want to do, and will do. And I've had people be like, you should put in fill dirt, you should put in gravel. No, that doesn't enrich the soil. So that's not, I'm not interested in doing that. That is a non-negotiable. It's gonna be chips or it's gonna be nothing. Oh, okay. One of the next things is hot water. I do now have running water that comes down over by the outhouse at like the edge of my camp, which is freaking amazing. It doesn't work for drinking water because it tastes terrible. It tastes like plastic, even though the tubes that they used are like what they use for residential water piping, I guess. I don't know why, but it just tastes really bad. So I only use that water for cooking and not even really cooking, basically for washing dishes and clothes, but that's still, and sometimes I'll drink it. It's like backup water, you know. But mostly for washing dishes and clothes and myself, which is amazing because that's like what you need the most, like big quantities of water for. And then I go all the way up to the other part of the farm to get my drinking water. And I bought a propane powered water heater, which I haven't even unboxed yet or used, even though it felt very important at the beginning of living here, because it's been so hot that I've just been using the cold tap water to shower and bathe. And I haven't figured that out yet. So I need to hang that up and basically create like a little shower area. But what I would really like to do is get a used bathtub and put it onto pallets or wood blocks and have that be over by the outhouse, and basically be able to just pump the hot water directly into there and take baths. I absolutely love baths. I've always been more of a bath than a shower girly, and that would be an insanely amazing luxury to have here. And then I could always move that somewhere else if I leave and they don't want it there anymore, or, you know, leave this part of the property to go to the new parcel. When it comes to hot water for basically everything else, like I've even taken some baths this way. I have a big canning pot that I got for free on the side of the road that I heat up with my propane powered stove. And that has been actually, like, I've washed my hair in that and taken like hot baths where I just take a big ceramic mug and like pour hot water over myself while I stand on my little like metal grate thing that my friend found for me. And that's been extremely luxurious, and it's definitely made it so that I haven't been motivated to set up my propane water heater yet, even though it was expensive and I'm looking forward to using it. I just like haven't really done that yet. The last thing is, and this is another one that I don't really have a solution for, I would love your ideas, is winterizing my outdoor kitchen. Right now I just have a really big tarp over it, over the area. I need to like tighten the tarp right now. Actually, it's like sagging pretty bad, but it's been holding up pretty well. I mean, it's been up for like 2 months, so, and it cost me $30. And basically, I was originally thinking that I was going to shell out money before the winter to pay Jai to help me build like a outdoor kitchen building. And now I'm kind of like, because I'm thinking about moving to that other parcel after the winter, and the main reason after the winter is just so I have more time to save money, because if you watch my first Yurt video, the pockets are drained, baby. The pockets are drained, and I'm actually focusing on paying off debt right now. I really want to be debt free, and so I'm really trying to do everything as cheaply as possible until I'm debt free, and then I can more think about money incoming towards improvements. But anyway, basically, I would like to avoid paying for a building this year if possible, and I am wondering if I can like get away with just continuing to use a tarp, and like maybe it'll break in the snow and then I have to buy another one. Maybe I need to use the scissor lift to set the tarp up higher so that it can be angled better so that the snow comes off of it. I don't know. I don't know though if it's just gonna turn into a giant fucking mud pit. And do I need to put like a tarp underneath everything? I just like, I don't know, but I feel like I should just like make it work with, I don't know, not building another structure. It's daunting to think about. The other option that I have talked to the family about is I could move all of my kitchen stuff into the hunting cabin on the new parcel, and I could do all of my cooking over there, but then sleep in the yurt. And the yurt does have a wood stove. Right now it's not like attached to the stovepipe. It's not like going anywhere, so I haven't used it yet. It has an oven. It has a cooktop. But the main thing is like, I don't really want to be like, I definitely will be like making coffee in there, like reheating soup or whatever, but I don't really want to be like actually cooking in there because of the whole mouse situation, and also because there's not very much room in the yurt already, and like my stuff is already like filling out the space, so it feels like it would just be super crowded. And I am like, I love to cook, like actually cook. I like, I have all, like, I severely downsized my kitchen to move here, but I love cooking. I have, pots and pans and utensils and pantry stuff, and I would like to cook even more in the winter when I'm able to use the outdoors as a fridge, which right now I don't have a refrigerator. I was buying ice all the time, and then I decided I didn't want to pay for that anymore, and now I've just gone to a no refrigerator cooking lifestyle, which has been very limiting, but also creatively interesting. But in the winter, it's like I can put a cooler outside, I could dig a hole in the ground and put a cooler in it and have a fridge situation. I would love your ideas on whether I should like figure out a way to make my little tarp town winter thing work, or if I should move all of my shit over to the dilapidated hunting cabin, which does have another bigger wood stove in it, which is cool, and then just like walk back and forth kind of vibes, and have all my food stuff be over there. I feel like that would be really inconvenient, but then also I feel like if I'm going to be moving more stuff over there eventually anyway, then it might be fun for me to hang out there and kind of like hang out in both spots. Oh, final thing, which is more directly related to the yurt, is I want to create some kind of covering for the steps so that I can sit on the steps in the winter to take my shoes off. I would really like my muddy shoes to not go into the house at all. Like, even now it feels like it gets the house really dirty, and Jai's idea was that I could take rebar and then PVC hoops and then plastic, or tarp, and basically make a little like awning that way. That's kind of ugly, but since again I might be moving the yurt, I'm not going to do my original idea, which is doing like a wood constructed like awning thing. So that's a thought. And then the other thing, which is just a problem that I need to do or address before the winter and like really ASAP, is that I need to figure out where I'm going to store my wood, and I need to get wood. I've been collecting just like branches that fall over the property, which I've gotten permission to do. Since it's a tree farm, branches fall a lot, but most of the branches are not very thick, and I know from experience of running fires out of this little camp that the branches, like even the piles that I have, would probably only last me like 4 days of campfire cooking, and I probably need to buy firewood. I do have a friend who said that he will teach me how to use a chainsaw, and I could borrow one of the ATVs on the property and like go find a tree that has fallen down and chop it up and bring it over here and split it. But I'll probably just end up buying wood that I need to split. Um, and yeah, I need to figure out like where to stack it and how to store it and all of that. And now that it's September, I'm really like feeling the heat. October here, usually at least half of it is still pretty dry. So like I have some time, but I'm also, I'm working, I'm trying to pay off this debt, I'm trying to do all these projects. So I'm feeling a little bit overwhelmed, but I'm also trying to just take one thing at a time. So yeah, please feel free to give me your ideas. I super appreciate you getting to the end of this video, if you did, if you're still here. And I will see you in the next one, where hopefully maybe I will have addressed some of these issues. Also, let me know in the comments if you want a just like little day in the life of like how I do my daily chores and my daily shit here, if that's interesting to you. All right, bye.